So if you've been riding your OneWheel for quite some time, one of the things you'll soon realize is that you'll want to invest in a fast charger. Whether you're joining up on group rides or planning for longer adventures, you'll want something that can get you back out and riding as soon as possible. Now, Future Motion does provide a standard home charger for every OneWheel purchase. The XR home charger should charge your OneWheel XR in approximately 1 hour and 50 minutes. Now, that's not a big deal if you're not in a rush to go anywhere, but if you need to get moving, that's a pretty long time to sit around waiting. So Future Motion has tried to solve this problem with their XR hypercharger, for which I've owned for quite some time now. And it served me well, and I've accepted that it was the only solution. That is until I heard about Chai Battery Systems and their XR fast charger. And just a quick disclaimer, this video is not sponsored by Chai Battery Systems, nor did they pay me anything to actually make this video, but they did send me their charger free of cost. Today's video we will be covering cost, size and weight, charge time, and at the end of the video I'll obviously give my opinion and which one I think you should invest in. So let's talk about cost, because that's probably going to be one of the most important factors for most folks out there. Now, the Future Motion hypercharger goes for $210. Chai Battery Systems, $130. Now we're talking an $80 difference, and that's pretty crazy considering the fact that you would assume that if it's that much more, you'd probably get maybe double the charge, maybe it's lighter, maybe it's some sort of feature that just justifies it. I don't know if we really get that in this scenario. So let's talk about the size and weight of the chargers. Now, to give you a little bit of perspective, this is the home charger that everyone gets with their XR. Now this is the hypercharger that Future Motion sells.
Who's that girl Smokey's talking to?
Some girl he hooked up with.
She's a big one.
Obviously the size difference should be pretty noticeable here. And this is the Chai Battery Systems fast charger. One of the things you're going to notice right off the bat is that these two alone are pretty much very close in size. In terms of weight, I didn't have anything to actually weigh these accurately, but what I did find online is that Chai Battery says this is roughly a little less than 2 pounds. And from what I could research online about the hypercharger, because they don't even put it on the website, is that this is around 4 or 5 pounds, so it's at least double the weight of this guy. And when you hold this, it's pretty ridiculously heavy. It's extremely noticeable. You could probably throw this at someone and it would really hurt a lot. Now, one other thing that I also did want to point out was that these actual cords here are pretty much the same length. Now, in terms of the cord that actually goes into the outlet, one of the things I did want to point out is that the Chai Battery Systems outlet cord is actually a foot longer than the hypercharger one. Future Motion's hypercharger cord is about 4 feet and Chai Battery's is 5 feet. Another thing to point out is that Future Motion's hypercharger is actually encapsulated in like a plastic case versus the Chai Battery one is in a metal case. Alright, let's talk about charge time and performance. So I did my own test and experiment just to see what numbers I was getting on my XR, just so you know, obviously my battery is going to be degraded a bit because I have a couple hundred miles on it, and it's not obviously going to be up to the same standards as they were tested on a completely brand new battery. So what I did in my experiment was I pretty much just drained the batteries down to as low as possible, turning it back on, trying to run the wheel more and more, just to the point where it's actually completely dead. At that point, I did my first test with the FM charger. Now, one of the first things I got and that I wanted to notate was what was the percentage I was getting on the app when I first plugged it in. So on the FM charger, when I first plugged it in, it estimated it was going to take 54 minutes for a full charge. In terms of the Chai Battery Systems one, when I first plugged it in, I got 57 minutes was the estimated charge. So one of the things I wanted to notate was the 90%, 95%, and 100% charge times. So at 90%, it took about 45 minutes for the FM charger to reach that, and about 49 minutes for the CBS charger to get there. At 95%, it was 49 minutes, and at 95%, 54 minutes. Now, I wanted to bring up the 95% because this is an important percentage number that Chai Battery Systems brings up in their advertisement, which is that it can get from 0 to 95% in 60 minutes. Now, Future Motion says they can get a full charge from 0 to 100 in 60 minutes. So I wanted to note what was the difference between getting to 100 and that extra 5%. And to get to that actual 100, for me it only took 53 minutes on the Future Motion one. Tri Battery Systems, it was 60 minutes. Obviously you can tell that my battery isn't operating at brand new because it would have taken longer if it was actually absorbing more power, and it would have taken a little bit longer. One last thing that I did want to point out in terms of the charge is that both batteries actually have these LED lights. And on both the batteries, it basically says that when it's green, it means it's fully charged. Now, I don't know what the difference between the app telling me 100% charge versus the actual charger light turning green, but I did want to take down in my results an experiment of how long it actually took to get to those green lights. And for the Future Motion one, it took about an hour and 12.5 minutes roughly to get to that LED green light. And the Tri Battery System took about an hour and 20 minutes to get that green light going. All right, so in conclusion, let's wrap up just a few of the major points. In terms of cost, we know the clear winner, Tri Battery Systems at $130 versus $210. In terms of size and weight, once again, Tri Battery Systems, it's a much smaller battery, it's much lighter, it's way more portable. And to be honest, one thing I will say that I did like about the Hypercharger is that the case is completely enclosed versus the Tri Battery System does have some open vents and moving parts like the fan, which I'm not necessarily a big fan of because that can lead to things getting broken or things getting inside and causing problems. However, it's not the worst thing as long as you take good care of the chargers and you know, don't kind of toss it around in the dirt or whatnot. So now in terms of charge time and performance, obviously the Future Motion Hypercharger does charge the board faster. However, in those difference of a few minutes, I don't think that justifies the price of $80 more and the size of the battery. So when you weigh in all those factors, I think there's a pretty clear winner, at least in my personal preference, that I would much rather carry around the Tri Battery System. So I just want to give Tri Battery Systems a huge shout out for sending me their charger to test and review. They are doing some really awesome stuff. They have a ton of other products, not just for OneWheel, for other e-skates and scooters, and battery replacement options that are just phenomenal. And most importantly, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really appreciate it. If you liked it, please hit that like button. If you want to see more like it, hit that subscribe. And if you guys do end up getting one of the chargers or you're interested in getting one of them, hit me up in the comments below and let me know which one you ended up choosing and why. I'm just curious if this video actually helps anyone because I'm sitting here alone in my kitchen talking to this camera and it gets very lonely. So somebody talk to me. If not, I'll just keep making these videos by myself, and I guess that's it for today's video. Thanks guys so much for watching. Have a good one. Catch you in the next one. Peace.